John, it's that time of the year when decisions have to be made, and you've made a few today.
Yeah, we've met with all the players and gone through everything, and it's resulted in a group not being retained and a group going on the transfers. But you know what? It's one of them things that I think when you get promotion, and the bulk of that squad are still there. You had some, but I think there comes a time when you have to look at the whole group and decide what the next step is. It happens all the time with promotion because people have to step up to the next level. You don't always know who can and who can't, but decisions have been made, and the one thing I have to say is all the lads have been absolutely terrific, and some of them, I can't even look at what they've done and say that's not quite been good enough. It's looking at it sometimes and looking at sort of the contribution that we've had and just really seeing if we feel that we can improve on that. It isn't necessarily everyone's done poorly, and we feel we need now to push on to get the next step. We were talking earlier about where we are now and where we started, Braintree away, and where we are now, and we've made unbelievable strides, and it's important that we keep trying to do that.
Obviously the 7 players that are leaving is obviously a difficult conversation to have, but they're grown men, and you wish them well in the future.
Yeah, of course it is. You know what, and when you're talking about people's futures, it's not a part of the job you enjoy, it's a part of the job you have to do, and in some of the instances it's it might be counted as almost borderline, but as I say, it's just one of them things that you get to a stage where you feel you have to try and push on a little bit, and sometimes you can change quite a few, and if you look in percentage terms, sometimes you might just get 1%, 2% better than what you've got, 0.5% better than what you've got, but leagues can be won and lost on 0.5%, and it was at one stage, I think with a game to go, we could have not got in the playoffs on goal difference. Well, they're the little things that the little gaps you try and bridge, so that's what we're trying to do.
There's a group on the transfer list as well. Have they still got a future here? How do you see that?
Well, listen, if they're under contract, they're under contract, but we're going to bring some players in, and it might be really difficult for them players to then get an opportunity. Everyone wants to play football, and I think it's unfair to feel that they may not get the games that they feel they should get, and if you don't tell them, they get left in limbo. So we've told the group that they're going on the transfer list. We'll wait and see what happens and who we hear from, so let's see how that works out.
Obviously, combining those two sets of groups of players, that's a reasonably large number to be possibly moving out of the football club during the summer, and as a result of that, you're going to be particularly busy replacing them.
Yeah, of course. We're on the way to trying to bring players into the club that we think can make us that little bit stronger again. And that's what it's all about, just trying to make us stronger again. And if we're successful in our recruitment, we feel we'll sort of be able to push again next season and just improve a little bit on this season.
Have you found that kind of recruitment process over the last 12 months, considering, obviously, as you said earlier, where we've come from and where we are now and where we want to get to?
Yeah, it's really, sometimes the type of player you want isn't always there anyway, it's just how it is, and you try and find different ways of doing it, but I think the most important thing is trying to identify the areas you want to strengthen and a list of players that could ideally strengthen that. In some cases they're under contract, you can't get them, clubs won't let them go. In other cases, you can't do deals to do it. And in some cases the player you want's not there and available. So, there's many twists and turns with it, and you just have to roll with it, really.
Is it something you enjoy? I mean,
yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. The big thing for me is the football, just the games and the training and everything. But this is a part of it, and I find it. I like to get my teeth into it as early as I can, You know, there's a long while before the season starts, but by the time we start pre-season training, which is like the beginning of July, you know, I like to have most things in place. You know, not everything will be in place, but you know, I think most things will be.
Together with Gary Sweet, working it hard and knocking on the doors and trying to make deals happen.
No, absolutely. You know, and you know, sort of talks are underway in quite a few areas as well. We're still watching. There's still games going on as well. You know, the games in Scotland, and we're going to go to Scotland and have a look at a couple of things up there. So we'll be out looking at, you know, some of the playoff games, and as I say, there's still games in Scotland going on as well. So we'll, you know, by sort of maybe middle of this month, I think all of the targets will have been identified, and we'll be making as many moves in those areas as we can.
Is there any particular area on the pitch that you feel that we do need to strengthen? I know you probably say all over the pitch because you
yeah,
probably want that.
It is really. It's really interesting, isn't it? You know, we haven't perhaps scored enough goals this season, but you know.
Well, we've said that League Two, there's not many teams that have done it.
No, there's not. It isn't. You know, but. You know, that's obviously an error. Can we add a few more goals to what we've done last year? Absolutely, that's what we'll be trying to do. But also, can we concede a few less? It's easy to say, well, you know, we've had lots of players out, but they've been out. So, you know, let's look at players that can come in that can help in both those areas.
One player who's definitely staying, Jonathan Smith. I mean, it's a testament to this football club. Served us well over the last couple of years, and we'll be here for another 3.
Been terrific. Jonathan's been terrific. You know, overcome the injury. Been a fantastic servant in my 2 years here. You know, don't think there was ever a doubt that he was going to re-sign. I'm just glad it's all done, and just another Luton player playing for Luton. You know, someone wants to play for Luton, so that's important.
Were you aware of him as a player at all?
I knew him. I knew him at York. Saw him at York, and he'd done okay. So when I came, I was aware of the attributes that Jonathan had. I think he's improved a little bit as well. I do. I think we've actually helped improve him a little bit, and I think that the technical part of his game is passing, and that has improved. And just goes to show you, you know, at any age, work hard at something, you can get better at it. So, but he's certainly, you know, a very important part in what we're trying to do.
A big part of his game is his desire and commitment as well, and if you could have 11 Jonathan Smiths on the pitch, I'm sure you would.
Yeah. Don't know who'd score a goal though. But he is, you know, he's got, you know, sometimes that type of character rubs off on other people as well, with that enthusiasm and that drive and that desire. And you know what, if you've got that, you give yourself a great chance. Well, he's got that in abundance, so he's a proper player for us.
Thank you, John.
Cheers, Robert.